This is the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma, coming to you weekly with your wedding worries or dilemmas which we will help solve. From time to time, we'll also be joined by special guests from the wedding industry or couples in the middle of planning their own wedding. If you have a wedding worry or dilemma you would like our help solving, please get in touch by using our I Do Crew podcast Instagram account. Welcome to episode 2 of the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma. Coming to you weekly with your wedding worries and dilemmas. If you have a wedding worry or dilemma that you would like us to help solve, please get in touch on our I Do Crew podcast Instagram account. This week is all about how many wedding dresses is too many wedding dresses. We're going to be talking all things guest outfit, do's and don'ts, wedding guest etiquette, and just mainly how you get through that wedding dress selection process, and everything in between. Welcome back, episode 2.
Woohoo. I'm excited about this one.
I thought you might be.
Yeah, I've got a lot to say about especially the etiquette thing. So we'll get there. We'll get there soon.
I'm not going to share any spoilers this week because I feel like last week with the Christmas baubles, we came in with that story quite hard and fast at the beginning of the pod.
I know, I thought I'd at least get to maybe episode 4 or 5 before my true spirit animal came through. But nope, episode 1, done. People know me now.
So we had a dilemma come through on the Instagram DM. So one of our brides got in touch to say that they really want to do an outfit change. Should I split my limited budget between 2 dresses? Obviously, I would say yes. So episode 1, we talked about mine and Emma's weddings and what we did. I had a 2-day wedding, so I chose to have 2 dresses. Unfortunately for my bridesmaids, they just had 1 bridesmaid dress. I was a bit stingy on the budget there, but
It's not about them though, is it, Jen? It's about the bride. So.
it's all about me on my wedding day. So yeah, and it was really important to me to have 2 individual looks, so you can change your hair, you can change your shoes, your makeup. So on day 1, from my perspective, I bought that wedding dress from ASOS. I think it cost 120 quid, something like that. And then I had a few alterations. My hair, I really liked my hair on day 1 because I was able to wear it down. Hollywood curls, my hair never stays curly, so it was really important to have that look and feel on day 1. And then day 2 was like the big dress, if you like. But even with that one, I didn't want to spend as much money as I'd seen other people spend. So I did quite a lot of research for boutique wedding dress shops, different places to get your wedding dress, and I actually went to one of the well-known high street stores and bought a wedding dress, and then I returned it because I just knew it wasn't right. So then I did my research to find a boutique, different, not alternative, but different styles, and I bought off the rack. So they had a sample sale. I went in, I'd selected the 3 that I wanted to try on from the sales, and that they were held back for me. But within a couple of days before going, I saw another one that I really liked, and I tried it on, and I just felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Was that your experience, Em?
No, mine's completely different. I think the wedding dress shopping was my least favorite part of the whole planning and doing and actually attending the wedding. I hated it. I think firstly, when I went in, I didn't have a clue about what kind of thing I was looking for, which I think in some times is a benefit because you try on lots of different options and you really see what fits your shape.
Mm-hmm.
Go in with, I want a mermaid dress or I want a princess dress. I just sort of picked one from each style and tried them on, which was great. But just standing in front of the mirror dress after dress after dress was just
Did you take an entourage with you? Because I think there's quite a lot of pressure on. You need to take your mum, you need to take mother of the groom, you need to take all your siblings, you need to take any other female in your family.
no, I just took my mum. So my mum's wedding present to us was my dress. So it was just me and my mum, which was quite nice because I didn't have all of them people looking at me as well as my mum and the lady in the shop, and
Mm.
so yeah, it was just me and my mum, and we went to the shop. I tried on one of the dresses and I asked the woman and my mum which one looked better and I bought it. That was as
Is
far
that the
as
dress that you wore then,
yeah,
based on your mum's opinion and the woman in the shop?
yeah, because I just couldn't make that decision. I felt comfortable in it. I didn't like look in the mirror and feel absolutely horrendous, but
Mm.
I just in such a place where I probably wasn't looking at what was really there. So I just had to trust the people around me.
FYI, Em's wedding dress was stunning and she looked beautiful.
Yeah, and thanks.
It was it was lovely. But I would
I
never have thought that that was your experience from the pictures and the way that you described the dress to people. I
No, I know. I did like my dress. It wasn't, it turned out okay, but I couldn't I couldn't have thought of anything worse for me having to pick two. As you would have gone to a whole new shop and you would have tried on some new designers and all of that thing. I had to do that whole process twice. That wouldn't have been for me. But actually it would have been nice in the evening to maybe put on something that wasn't so heavy. And my bustle broke, so the bustle is the bit that puts your train up so that it's easier to walk. As we walked into our reception, Jordan trod on the back of my dress and the bustle broke. So from dinner onwards, I was like, had my dress over my crook of my arm. So if I had like a nice white, I kind of envision I would have gone like pantsuit to like really dance and get my.
oh,
If I had something that was back up, I would have definitely put it on because trying to dance, and I'm a big dancer and I'm a ballroom dancer, so I was sort of really doing dancing, and having my dress over my arm was a bit of a hindrance. So I would have definitely got changed if I had thought about it, but I don't think I would have picked two dresses. I think I would have picked one dress and then a tracksuit or something. Something that I could have really just got got on the dance floor and then sort of really enjoyed myself more without having to worry about my dress being heavy and bit too tight and all of that sort
yeah.
of.
I can just imagine it. Be right back. I'm just going to go and put my leggings on.
Yeah, what's that company? What I think that does the wifey jumpers
Six
and
stories.
6 stories. I probably would have had one of them and put that on at 9 o'clock. So the evening guests arrive and they saw me in my dress, but not long. The chili came out, bowl of chili in,
Tracksuit on.
macarena, boom.
Did you play the Macarena at your wedding?
I don't know. We had a band, so we had like a quite a cool band that did covers, but it was all kind of like a bit ska kind of
Mhm.
vibe. It was really fun, but I can't really remember. I was just having the time of my life.
I think it helped that I also didn't take an entourage, and probably much to her disappointment, I didn't take my mum either. I just went with Tyler, our good friend, because I didn't want it to be a big show because many reasons. I'm a child from a broken home. Sad, poor me. Um, so I didn't want. I'm really close to my stepmom, and obviously you are supposed to take your mum with you. So I didn't want that conflict of
Yeah,
my stepmom can't come because my mum's coming, or they're both there and they both feel uncomfortable. I didn't want that for any of us. So I chose not to go with either of my mother figures in my life and took my good friend who I knew would give me a blunt, honest opinion.
yeah.
And
part of your wedding party. They weren't a bridesmaid or anything.
No,
So like a day out, like a bridal day out that they were
no,
going to, or only one of the bridesmaids. It was somebody completely out of that world, so nobody could get upset or jealous, or it could cause drama because it nobody got invited. So
no.
I think that was quite a clever move. And Tyler is she's really honest, isn't she? But she's really kind.
Kind, yeah. And I don't think it caused any drama. Nobody ever said, "Oh, I wish I'd been there. Oh, I wish I could have seen," or "Why didn't you take us?" Nobody said that.
No, I think it's quite nice as a member of the wedding party or guest at that wedding. It's nice to part of that is turning round, looking up the aisle and seeing the bride for the first time. It kind of that's part of the day, isn't it? That
Mm,
kind of rush of emotion, that seeing them in their wedding dress and how beautiful they are, and that all of that sort of moment is part of it for people. So for me, I think I know Tyler came to the wedding, but having somebody that's not part of that process so closely is quite good, because you're giving that experience to your bridesmaids, um sort of seeing when they're helping you get ready, they're seeing it for the first time, and
mm,
I think that's nice.
yeah. I can't remember if I'd showed. I think I did show them what it looked like beforehand in a picture. But that was the day two dress. I didn't have to go to a shop, luckily, for the first day dress because, as I said, ASOS ordered it through the post during lockdown and tried on, I think, a couple of different sizes and a few different styles because I thought sequins, glitzy could be an option for day one, but no, I ended up going with it was off the shoulder. Hollywood vibes
Yeah,
was the look for day one. So there was no stress.
one was absolute. I remember seeing you come out of the car, and your hair was all in them Hollywood curls, and your dress was just absolutely. I literally just burst out into tears, and Jordan was like, "What are you going?" It was just What you weren't walking down the aisle. You just got out the car outside the registry office, and it was just like a really nice, sort of warm, not overly sunny day. And you just got out, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And like that whole thing will just stay with me forever. That look was immense.
I'm glad that you feel like that because when we drove up, I said to Dad, "What on earth is everybody doing outside?" I just wasn't expecting to step out the car with everybody there. I thought we would have that moment where we stepped out the car, I could faff around with my hair, make sure the dress was pulled down, off up to the special room where you have to confirm that you are who you say you are and that you're not marrying him because you're being paid to, all of that kind of thing. I was really shocked. And I
Yeah,
remember thinking, do not look fuming on your face, just smile and wave.
I was like, I was sort of hanging around, and I was like, surely we should be going in, because I know you say I can't remember the exact time, but you say the wedding's at 3, so everybody turns up 10 to 3, but you don't actually get married till 20 past.
Yeah.
And it was the 3 o'clock, and I was like, why aren't we going in? So I went bustling into the registry office, and I was like, excuse me, we're all here for a wedding. We all need to go in. And I got told that it was being changed around and to go back outside. So I was trying Jen, to get us all inside, but we were firmly put in our place to back get back outside and just wait. But yeah, when you turned up, it didn't matter, because it was a pure Hollywood, because when you get out in the films, when you see people get out of their cars on the red carpet, it was like that.
By
So
accident.
by accident, but it kind of worked because it was Hollywood. You looked like you were literally entering the red carpet. So
And
it's
maybe that was a good thing because then it definitely took less pressure off the aisle
yeah,
because I thought, oh, doesn't matter now. Everyone's already seen what I'm wearing.
yeah.
Hollywood glam.
It was on purpose. You can just pretend. Well, now we've told it on the podcast. We can't really pretend, but in our heads, we can pretend that was all completely planned.
All
And
planned.
that red carpet moment where you got out the car with your beautiful shoe first. and you just saw the Jimmy Choo pop out first, and then you followed. Perfect.
So Ian was talking about the shoes earlier today, and even his parents hadn't realised that he had ordered them from his hospital bed as an I'm sorry gift for basically ruining the wedding. So episode 1, we talked about the last couple of weeks before my wedding, how stressful it was, because Ian thought that he would have to have spinal surgery. So he ordered these beautiful shoes that I was trying to find a dupe, a cheap dupe, because I couldn't find any other shoes that I liked. And he ordered these I'm sorry, I've cancelled our wedding shoes from his hospital bed. So luckily the wedding went ahead and I kept the shoes. So for our listener that's written in about really want to do an outfit change, should I split my limited budget between 2 dresses? I'm saying yes.
Yeah, I would say yes too. And I think you can get um bargains. So you could do the ASOS thing for one of them like you did, Jen, or if you're happy sort of going in and shopping samples, they're normally hugely discounted because a few people have tried them on, but it's not like they're all still new and they're all still beautiful,
Mm.
and you can get discounts there. Um,
I also think that we mentioned Six Stories earlier. They're now doing a bridal wear range, so not just lounge wear. They're now doing occasion wear. So I saw that you can get some really, really beautiful white dresses on their website.
Not see, perfect.
And I think they were ranging between 80, 120 in that kind of budget bracket. So get both outfits.
Yeah, I would. I definitely would. Yeah.
We've also had a few questions come in around the same subject area. So things, guest outfit do's and don'ts was quite a lot. What are you able to tell your guests what to wear? Um, I certainly tried to tell my mum what to wear and she wasn't having any of it and ended up wearing, sorry, mum, if you're listening, but what can only be described as a beacon on
It
day 2.
was very bright, but it kind of suited her personality.
It does suit her personality for sure, and she looked lovely, but it was bright, luminous pink.
Yeah.
I tried to tell her what to wear and she didn't listen, so yes, you can tell them what to wear, I would say.
I do think you can set a dress code. And I think if you get it right from your save the dates and your invitations, and you make them um have the same kind of vibe as your wedding, and then you say, you know, whatever your dress code is, black and white or uh, pale tones or whatever you want,
Block colour.
people should get it. I don't know if it's just me because I'm a bit of an etiquette snob, but you have to look at the style of the invitation and dress according to that. So if you've got a nice monochromatic, beautifully modern invitation, that's giving you an indication of what type of wedding it's going to be, and turning up in a sort of summer flowy strapless dress might not be the
Hmm.
right thing because they're obviously going for a more formal look. So a more formal sort of structured dress, I think, would be appropriate. So I think wed- wedding guests need to be aware of the invitation and look at the style. And if there's a dress code, you must abide by it. And if you can't abide by it, you don't go.
Did you have a dress code for your wedding?
No, I wasn't that clever about it. And actually, I got married in a barn and it was quite a low key, relaxed type of vibe anyway.
Hmm.
My mum wanted to feel like part of the wedding. So um our colours were peach, mint, and teal. The bridesmaids were in like a mint colour. So my mum wore like a teal dress.
Hmm.
It wasn't dressing as a bridesmaid, but she sort of fit in with the sort of theme of the wedding, and it worked really nicely. And she's a bit of a hippie, and she had like a little beaded headband that matched my I had like a vine in my hair. So she spent a lot of time trying to make her outfit match the wedding, which was really, really nice.
Did she wear formal wear to your wedding?
No, it was still quite flowy. It was like a teal dress with some beading on the front, and then it sort of flowed from the waist down.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
That's what
Um, so how do you feel about guests wearing white?
I just don't understand why people would even think about it.
I also think that wearing
Unless that dress code says wear women to wear white because the bride is wearing a big red dress or something completely different. You don't wear white, you don't wear cream, you don't wear pale pink, you don't wear anything that in a photo could look anywhere near white.
what about if it's a black and white themed wedding?
Then you wear a black and white dress. You don't wear a white dress.
Excellent.
Why would why would you?
I don't know. I also think that wearing white on a hen do is a no-no if you're
Yeah,
not the bride. But I
no,
have seen it happen.
I just
Do not do it, people.
unless it's a white day and everybody's dressed in white, don't do it. Just stay away from the colour and just be safe.
Um, etiquette.
Yeah. Is this where you want me to start talking about my
This
rant?
is this is where I want you to go off on one about the jackets.
So
We did
there is
buttonholes last week.
yeah, so my everybody in my wedding party had their buttonholes on the wrong side upside down.
Is
It's
there a
just
right side then? So if you are the groom, you're supposed to have your buttonhole on a certain side of your suit, are you? I didn't know that.
where the buttonhole is. So on every suit there's a little I
Um,
actually might can't work out if it's left or right, but on a suit there's normally a tiny little hole in the lapel.
I think it's left.
I think it's left too. No, no, one second. I'll get my wedding pictures and I'll tell you how to do it.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So I think it goes on the left, wherever that little hole is in the lapel.
And if you are a female wearing the buttonhole, still left but upside down
Yes. Don't quote me on that, actually. I think it might be the opposite. It's definitely upside down.
on the right hand side.
Mm. And that's how all of ours turned out upside down on the right, because somehow in translation, these are the female buttonholes and these are the male buttonholes. They all were just
I mean, Jordan is an intelligent man. Surely he would have been like, is this meant to be upside down?
well, apparently
Because,
in it, and he was told no, that's how you do it. So he was shitting himself, wasn't he? So
yeah.
just then you saw me walking down the aisle giving him daggers. Anyway, so there is another thing that not many people know,
No, I didn't know this either
but when it happens, it infuriates me.
as a wedding guest.
Wedding guest.
Did it happen at your wedding? Well, let's tell everybody what it is first.
So at a wedding, the only time a male guest can take their jacket off is after the groom. So if the groom keeps his jacket on all day, no matter what the weather, you keep your jacket on all day. If the groom takes it off during the reception or cocktail hour or whenever it is, that's when you have been given permission to take your jacket off. Don't do it. I don't care if you're keeling over because it's 40 degrees outside. Just keep your jacket on. It's not your place to decide when your jackets come off. You don't know what the vibe the photos are going to be.
No.
Keep 'em, and if you're turning up to a ceremony without a jacket on, you can just turn around and go back.
Did anybody take their jacket off at your wedding before Jordan took his off?
I don't think so. But then my dress was too tight, so I wasn't really paying much attention during dinner.
Unable to breathe.
I was
Did,
literally lying with my head in my photographer's lap while she was trying to eat her dinner.
did anybody take their jacket off at my wedding on day one before the groom? You don't have to name and shame.
No, but they did on day 2.
Before the groom had taken his jacket off.
Yep.
Were they sat on your table?
There was a few.
Oh,
Lots of people do it because it's just one of them things that nobody knows. And actually nobody's normally bothered. It's just me. Jordan's like, calm down.
well, you'll be pleased to know that at my sister's wedding, people started to take their jackets off before the groom did. And I was saying to anybody that would listen, you're not supposed to be taking your jacket off till the groom does. Emma's not going to be pleased with you. Put your jacket back on, Ian.
Yeah. It's like I think it's a really old thing, but when I got told it, it completely makes sense
Yeah.
because the bride and groom are the people like giving you the sort of um I don't know what I'm trying to say, but they're the ones that are keeping the speed of the wedding. They're the ones that have set the order of
Mm.
the day. So it's them that you look to find out what you're doing next. So don't take your jacket off until they do. And if they take it off straight after the ceremony, then you're in good. Take it off.
They tend to take it off I think after speeches, when they relax a bit.
Yeah, once they've got their speech done, and then they take their jacket off and have pudding, and then it's free for all, and then the tie comes off, and that's another thing. Can't take your tie or your bow tie or whatever off until they have.
How do you feel about sunglasses?
I think it's okay. They're okay if you're having an outdoor thing. When you're just all milling around, put your sunglasses on. But if you're on an outdoor ceremony, take them off because you're just going to ruin people's photos. And also, don't have your phone out because if you're going to look back on a photo of all their guests, from the back with them in the aisle with their lovely, you know, arch and flowers and everything, and everybody's just got their phone out, all you're
Mm.
going to ruin people's photos. So take them off for the formal photos, take your glasses off for the ceremony.
How do you how do you police that kind of thing? Because if you're the bride, you can't be take your glasses off. Put
But
your jacket back on. Like, how do
I,
you police that through your guests?
I think you tell your groomsmen, these are the rules that I want you to make sure happen. Everybody arrives on time, everybody sat down on time, you get the party started, all the things that you would sort of give groomsmen to do. But you also say, make sure people have got their sunglasses off for the photos, try and get people to keep their jackets on until um, Bob takes his off.
Mhm.
The groomsman's responsibility. And also, if you've got a wedding planner, they will be all over that, and your photographer will help as well.
I've
But
also seen some really nice signs that you can get, which basically say in a nice way, please put your phones away. We're capturing it all, so we'll share the photos with you after. I'm sure there is things that you can weave into your decor that sort of points out your do's and don'ts for your own wedding, because each
yeah,
wedding is so different. So if you had a beach wedding, you're probably not going to be wearing jackets anyway, and you're probably all going to have your sunglasses on. But if you're having a church wedding,
yeah, yeah,
some
having that's nice. Having friendly signs, like jokey signs, is cool. And I think even if you're like haven't got a actual photographer and you're hoping that your guests capture your day for you for that ceremony part, just give the jobs to one or two people to capture that, and so not
mm,
everyone stood behind their phones. Like you see it in concerts now, don't you? Do you remember when we were young and you'd go and see sort of Backstreet Boys, whoever, Spice Girls, whoever you went to see, you were totally immersed in it.
Yeah.
You see all the footage and everybody's just looking at it through their phones. It's a turning like that for a bit like weddings now.
Mm.
It's not, you're not like emotionally invested in it if you're looking through a screen, I don't think.
In the moment. Yeah, I agree. What's the worst wedding guest outfit you've seen?
Well, that's a tricky one. I think when somebody is quite obviously trying to outdo the bride, and
Mm.
I don't necessarily they're in like pale pink and they've got like their hair up with a vine and a little thing that looks a bit like a veil, quite obviously trying to be the bride, but when they're just like they've got a big princess dress with all the sparkles, I think what blows my mind why people would actually do that. Just put on the dress that fits the attire and the invitation, that's quite understated. You feel pretty, and nice in it because you're going to be in photos and everybody wants to feel pretty. But
Mm.
yeah, I can't really pinpoint anything. It's just when people overdo it.
Do you overthink your outfits as a guest to other people's weddings?
I don't overthink them. I don't think. What about you?
I always think that you should, I think a really nice way to respect the couple is to put as much effort into your prep for the wedding as they are with theirs. So really make an occasion of the day. I think
Mm,
that's the biggest compliment that you can give the couple
yeah,
at the wedding that you're attending. Get your hair pinned up before you go. I've got a pretty glamorous friend. She's my sister-in-law's sister, and she had her hair done before my wedding. She had her nails done, she had her makeup done, made sure her lashes were on point, the whole shebang. And I thought that is so nice that you are having your own little get ready party ahead of my wedding. And I think ever since I heard that advice, I can't remember, I think I read it on one of the wedding Instagrams that I follow. The biggest compliment that you can give the couple is to really invest in the experience with them.
yeah,
And if they're asking you to wear a color scheme, wear the color scheme because it's for a reason. If they're asking you to take your sunglasses off for the pictures, take your sunglasses off. If they're asking you to join in the first dance, whether you like dancing or not, do it.
yeah,
Just go with the flow, have a great day, and enjoy it as much as possible. Even though it's not your wedding, so much effort, as we'll talk about over the next few episodes of the podcast, so much effort goes into planning a wedding that you don't want people just rocking up with last night's clothes on
no,
and turning up late, not planning their timings, wearing their sunglasses, all of that kind of thing. Just respect the event as if it's your own.
yeah, and know your part in it.
Yeah.
A guest in the wedding, to enjoy your day, to celebrate your friends or your family, and to do what you're told.
Yeah.
So if you don't want another photo but they're asking to, just go and do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that. Spending time getting ready and respecting their day that way. That's a really nice way to sort of frame it in your head.
It also means that I don't know about anybody else, but the most stressful part getting ready tends to be my hair.
Yeah,
Take that stress away, quickly do the makeup, put the dress on that I've planned to wear for the wedding, ready.
yeah.
Little
Take,
glass of champagne and have a great time.
yes, yes. Yeah. I
Any
also sorry, I also like the idea of get ready parties. So if there's a group, if there's a group of you that are kind of close, couples or not, spend the morning, because normally you get married lunchtime-ish, don't you? Spend the
Yeah.
morning together and have like a little, celebration together and help each other get ready. Because it gets quite lonely, doesn't it, as a guest?
Mm,
sort of sat in your bedroom, putting your makeup on, stressing about time and stuff. So I think that's a really nice idea. Get together.
And especially if you are the plus one with a member of the bridal party,
Yeah,
or if you're the groomsman's girlfriend,
yeah.
wife.
On your own, aren't you? Yeah.
You spend a lot of of your time by yourself. I went to one of my really good friends' sister's wedding. My good friend was obviously her sister's bridesmaid, so that I arrived at the church on my own. I was sat on my own. I had to make friends with people in the same pew as me. I didn't see her properly until we got to the venue for the
Mm,
reception. So I think if I'd had like a little drinks mingle beforehand, I think I then would have sat with those people and then would have had a great time, blah blah blah. I mean, it was a beautiful wedding. It was really fun. Um, but yeah, I think those little things really make it an event for the guest as much as the bride and groom.
yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Any other do's and don'ts, that you want to share with our listeners?
Um, I just want to cycle back to the dress thing. I think going dress shopping, even if you're excited about it, is quite a stressful experience.
Hmm.
And so I think just doing your research on the shops, because shops tend to carry different, or boutiques, I think they're actually called, carry different designers. So just do your research and book a few with different designers if that's the way you want to go. And also wear good underwear,
Oh
like
God, yeah.
nude, whatever shape, style that you like, just wear that, and also wear a loose fitting bra so you don't have the lines on your back, because you actually probably do spend quite a lot of the time with just your pants on in front of somebody that's a relative stranger, where you trying to get in the dress and buttoning you up and things.
Mm.
So just wear nude seamless underwear, whether it's a thong or briefs, or the boxer type, whatever. I don't think that matters, but something that you feel comfortable in, because you're going to stand in front of a mirror with no clothes on.
I also think planning the underwear that you're going to wear on your wedding day, because I did not do that. I just completely forgot. And I knew that it was something that I needed to do on the list. And I'd been trying to look for weeks and weeks beforehand and left it till literally the day of my wedding when well, my husband had actually panic ordered me some next day delivery from M&S. They were kind of semi-control nude pants.
Funky types thing.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I just completely forgotten about underwear.
yeah, I think a lot of people don't wear any.
I didn't wear anything on the top half,
No,
but I think I would have felt uncomfortable if I had gone commando in my wedding dress.
do, just because I'm used to wearing underwear. But especially if you've got a long dress with some layers going on, actually going to the toilet with all of that and then trying to pull your pants down is a bit of an ordeal. So if
Mm,
you feel comfortable without any, I think go for it.
yeah, but don't
Um,
leave it till the day before.
no, no, don't leave it to the day before. Yeah, so research the shops, wear good underwear to your like try-ons. I also thought about um being really upfront about your budget with the dress shop, because they will pick things that are in your budget and they won't pick things out of your budget that you're going to fall in love with and can't afford.
Hmm.
Because nobody wants to say that they've got X amount of money, and then they find the dress and it's double their budget, and you either then stretch your budget, which I don't think is very healthy, or you come away feeling disappointed because the dress that you've picked is always second best.
Hmm.
Just tell the dress shop your budget and say just stick within that budget. They push it a little bit, but it's not double.
Yeah,
Um,
I would never have thought to do that.
no. And I think people feel embarrassed to say, I've only got £800, or I've only got whatever your budget is, because, you know, people feel embarrassed to talk about money. But I
Mm.
think in situations it's really important, because, like I say, the last thing you want to do is try on a £2,000 dress
fall in
fall
love with it.
with it, and then you've only got £500 to spend.
Hmm.
So yeah, just be really upfront. And then I think we covered it earlier. Just bring people or a person with you that you really trust to tell you the truth in a really kind and compassionate way.
Mm.
Not somebody that's going to say, "Oh my God, your hips look massive in that." That's not what you want to hear, because then all you're going to be focusing on is this. But you want somebody to say, "Oh, I really like this detail and this detail. Maybe we could get something that's a bit more fitted here," or, do it in a really nice, calm, kind way.
And you want it to be that magical experience that you've hoped for. You
Yeah,
don't want somebody saying, no, that makes your arms look fat.
yeah. No, you don't. You don't want that.
No.
And also do your hair and makeup in a way that you feel comfortable, because you will be looking at yourself in a mirror, and all them insecurities will just come out. So
Mm.
you need to feel a bit confident. Maybe book it so you're not, it's not the week before your period when you're a bit bloated or a bit crabby. You know, think think about it in when it is going to be and how you're going to feel within your body.
Hmm.
I think that's it for me. Have you got any more?
Uh, no.
No.
My whole experience was a bit slapdash. Took one friend because I didn't want the big show. Um, Bought a wedding dress, then returned it. Um,
But,
then found the dresses that I liked. So I also would say that when it comes to me particularly, I knew that when I put the dress that I returned in my car to take it home, as soon as I got home, I had a conversation with Ian and just said, I don't think I've bought the right dress. Showed it to him. He said it looked beautiful. He said, but if you don't feel like it's the right one, you need to return it. Luckily, I had a 10-day return window, because it was from a high street store. And the day after I returned it, we went into lockdown again for Christmas and they closed.
oh,
So,
so lucky.
and I got a full refund on the dress. I had to keep the boxes because I'd paid for the wedding dress boxes where they put the wedding dress in and then the underskirt and all of that kind of thing. But I was able to return everything. Got a full
Oh,
refund.
that's good. And I think
Yum.
moment of doubt, and it's within your power to change it. Sometimes it's not. If you've had it altered, it then becomes more difficult to change your mind. Or if you have bought something on sale, just when you're buying it, just ask what your returns policy is. But
I
also,
did that.
if you've got a moment of doubt and you can change it, take it back
Mm,
and look for some more, because you tend to buy a dress a year in advance, so
yeah.
that you have got time to sort of shop around a bit.
I'm trying to think when I bought the second attempt dress, the one that I wore on the second day of my wedding. I think that was probably only 5 months before.
That's cutting it fine,
It
isn't
was
it?
cutting it
Especially
fine.
with the seamstresses and stuff.
Yeah.
Covering another, because I've got a whole experience about that too. But we'll in another episode. We'll come back to dress alterations, shall we?
Um, okay, so thank you so much to everybody that's got in touch around wedding dresses, outfit changes, guests, what do's and don'ts, wedding etiquette, all of that kind of thing for this week's episode. If you've got a wedding worry or dilemma that you need our help solving, please get in touch using our I Do Crew podcast Instagram account. And next week's episode, we are talking to one of our wedding industry friends. It's the Wedding Booth Overton. Danielle's going to be joining us as our special guest, and we're going to be talking all things small weddings and wedding planning. So yeah, thanks so much, Em. Been a great episode. I love that we've talked about jacket etiquette.
I know, I think that might come out again.
Oh, I'm
And
sure it will.
keep talking about them till everybody in the world knows.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I
Th-
do.
Thanks so much, everybody, and see you next time.
Bye.
You've been listening to the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma. Keep up to date with our podcast news by following our I Do Crew podcast Instagram account. Thanks for listening.